Good afternoon, dear parents and students. First of all, I'm very happy to see that almost all the students and parents have joined the meeting. That shows that you're all eagerly waiting to know the how we spend our rest of the time till the June board exam. First of all, this is a meeting from our side to help our children to prepare for board examination and the competitive examination, especially for the children, those who are looking admission to India through JEE or NEET. So for the children who are looking for admission to abroad, especially not for MBBS definitely you need to qualify NEET. For outside colleges outside India, you can concentrate on board and SAT. So if the children and parents who are looking for admission to India, this is the time we are getting for the preparation for JEE and NEET. You know, the board exam is scheduled in the last week of May and ending in June. Immediately after that, we will not be getting any time for preparing for NEET or JEE. So whatever preparation we want to do for NEET and JEE, you have to do in these 2 months. That means in end of January till March or April. Okay, we need to again come back to CBSE board examination. So my humble request to all students and parents is, CBSE we are writing an exam which is with reduced topics. That means CBSE has reduced many topics, and children and parents are well aware of that one. And the classes also, though we have taken the full syllabus without any deletion. From my case, I have taught everything in mathematics without deleting any topic. But okay, that is not for the board examination. That is for the competitive examination because we are deleted portion. If you write the exam, after all, you'll be going for high studies. Your adaptability will be affecting. So I have not deleted any topics in the regular classes. I have taken everything in detail. But for the board point of view, you need to focus on the areas where the syllabus is which is given by the CBSE. Now, for this reduced syllabus, we have started in the last March, and we have conducted 2-month vacation classes also without any vacation. So this reduced syllabus, we people are studying almost now 12 months. Again, we are studying, if you're only concentrating on CBSE by saying that we have model exam in the school, we have practical in the school, how we will preparing for competitive examination, where we will be getting time, should I give importance for CBSE or should I give importance for board? My answer is very simple. Will you get an admission for NEET or JEE by looking your CBSE board marks? Okay, forget. You can, if you're looking for admission to abroad, okay, if any university is looking for your board marks, concentrate on that one. But if your admission for any higher studies based on competitive examination, you need to now set aside certain time on daily basis for preparing for NEET and JEE. That is very important. So there are 24 hours, and in this 24 hours, if you organize, definitely every child can spare at least 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours daily for preparing competitive examination along with your practical. So the biggest hazard will be in front of you. Maybe practical exam is coming, what to do? Nothing can be done. Everybody is having writing practical, board is coming, so you need to spare. So you need to basically organize your time. So this is what my first request to all students and parents, bring in the mind this concept. I need to. Once you put this message in your concept in your mind, then only I can make you. First, we will feed. I am just trying to feed you the importance of sparing some time for competitive examination without affecting our regular CBSE preparation, because CBSE preparation is almost done in 12 years. Normal every year we used to do for 10 months and the syllabus will be full. Now this year we have done already 12 months and the syllabus is reduced. So this is my first point. I hope every parent and children are very clear in this one. Now second point I wanted to talk is regarding the chances in the NEET and JEE. As you know, we have a lot of statistics with me. I will be sharing in a PPT. Last year, the students of Middle East have done fairly well, especially from Brilliant, in NEET examination. And JEE, majority of the students went through SAT by scoring good rank in SAT, and many of them will be. This year we have only JEE. So There is a Dasakota where the qualification is based on JE for JE rank for engineering. For medicine, last year, a good number of students enrolled in NEET, in MBBS and allied courses through NEET. It is because we have got a lot of time for preparation due to COVID, after the board examination and between the board examination. Now, in this year, the students, NRI students are better option, better chances as compared to Indian students, because we have started our session in the month of March and we did not have any break, any problem in delivering the classes throughout the year till now. So our students will be theoretically very, very strong as compared to their counterparts in India. Definitely they can make use this one in the competitive examination if you set aside your time for preparing for examination. I have a statistics what the total number of students appeared last year for NEET or JEE in India, how many students appeared from Middle East or in the NRI students, what is the qualification percent, all I will be showing in a PPT in a quickly, because I just along with the PPT I will be showing this one. So firstly, I'm saying all the students of Middle East, or not only for our students, the Middle East students have better option this year, better chances this year to get a good rank in NEET and JEE, because we have finished our theory part well in advance and we are strong in theory. We need practice of MCQs and guidance for the exam. For that one, we have to use our this present time, not after the board examination. If you spend time, quality time for this one, definitely I can assure you, you can get a merit seat for engineering and medicine. This is the second concept I wanted to. Now, third, we are planning for classes in these 2 months. The timing and details and the nature, etc. Mr. Danesh will be explaining you how we will be going ahead with the integrated. I can say it's an integrated class. That means NEET and JEE and CBSE board. So that Mr. Danesh will be. I'll be going through the statistics of last year, results and last competitive examination criteria through a PPT quickly. So people who want, they can just go through this one in a quick way. Okay, so this one, total seats in India, this all you can get easily from the, I can share this PPT. As you know, there are total 41,388 merit seats in government colleges, 35,540 merit seats, in private colleges. Total number of seats for MBBS is 76,928 seats. That is the total number of seats in MBBS. Now BDS, there is that 3,500. I'll quickly go through that. 23,000. I'll be coming to statistics. Total is 26,000 BDS seats. JEE, total IIT seats is 13,674. Total seats in NIT is 17,967. And total seats in IIIT is 33,433. Now this is the very interesting, the next thing, cutoff mark for NEET and JEE. This is what we need to be very careful. See, for NEET, out of 720 in general category, in the NEET, the cutoff marks is very interesting. You see, out of 720, if you get 147, you will be qualified for, NEET is qualified, you will be qualified the NEET. Okay, in general, that means physically challenged, or 129. And in SC/ST 113 out of 720, in SC/ST OBC physically challenged, that will be 113. Now JEE cutoff marks 90 out of 300. That means JEE you will be qualified if you get 90 marks out of 300. General EWS, that means other categories, 70 out of 300, OBC 72 out of 300, ST 39 out of 300, SC 50 out of 300, and other. This will be there. Now, this will be general information. I'll come back to a conclusion for all this thing. Why I'm showing all these things. NEET 2020, the number of candidates, you can see in the screen. Yeah. 15,97,435 people have registered for NEET. Number of candidates present is 13,66,945. The number of candidates absent because of many reasons, because of COVID and all, majority of the Middle East students have not present. 14, there is there the need number of NRI candidate. That is what we need to think. That is what I am coming back to this point. NRI candidate, 1,869 candidate registered for NEET in 2020. Now JEE total registered, that's all. I'll be sharing this one. 8.5 lakh, 6.3, 2.2 appeared, and this is important for us. Registered Indian students, 15 lakh 93,907. Appeared Indian student, 13 lakh 65,154. Qualified Indian students, 7 lakh 70,201. That is 56.4% of the students who appeared NEET is qualified. That means the qualification, the highest qualification I told you, it will be 160, 170, etc. So the rest of the 50% of the people are not able to get a score of 50%. That means 170 out of 720. So this is what we need to be very careful. So the next thing, registered NRI students, 1,869 students are registered from NRI. Appeared NRI students is 854. That means 55% of the people are not able to attend the NEET exam last year because of, I know many students who have taken with us also did not go to write the exam because the parents may fear that they will lose. So that I don't want to elaborate. 854 people only appeared from Middle East for NEET. Qualified NRI students is 600. So this is what very interesting for us. Out of 854, 600 people are qualified. So our qualification rate is much higher than India. Then why we are not come? So theoretically our students are very strong, and the rest, why we are not coming into the top 100, the top 1 or top 10% or above out of 720? Why our students are not getting 690, 710, etc.? This is what the parents of the Middle East should be careful, because we take it very lightly and we prepare in the last 1 month or 2 months of the near the exam. It should be a condition. The children, parents, my request is, if you have a younger one in 8, 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, please start preparation at the early stage. It is not reachable. It is reachable to every single students because we have qualified trainers, resources, everything. But only we need dedication from the students and parents. So you see our qualification rate, even brilliant qualification rate is more than 85%. All the students, and the admission rate you can check. Out of 15 lakh people writing the NEET examination, we have 76,000 seats only altogether. So the enrollment rate of all the institutes in all over India is less than 7%. So, but if you look at in our institute, Brilliant itself, we have plenty of students who enrolled through NEET this year itself. So our qualification rate is more than 85%, but our course conduction is based on, see, the people and students are not taking it very seriously like Indian students from the beginning. So if you put your effort from the beginning, definitely a NEET seat or a JEE seat, not a difficult task. That is what my concept. Now, if you look at our enrollment rate, is very higher compared to India. Now, what is happening actually in the Gulf scenario? I just want to educate all the parents. Basically, the success rate of all the institute in India is less than 7%. Definitely when 15 lakh people, there will be nerds. And these nerds will be getting some rank, and this rank they will be celebrating. The same person rank of last year 720 is celebrated by almost all the institute. Agash, Alan, everybody celebrating his rank. But what is the reality? What is their failure rate? So what I'm saying is, the Middle East parents, normally what happens is, they go behind these online classes by paying huge amount for online material. Now I'm telling you, the parents, materials are available at free of cost everywhere. You need personalized tutoring, personalized training, then only this will be possible. Because the something which is at your fingertip, try to use it. That is what my request. It is not. So what I'm saying is, in these 2 months, if you try to do a good job, definitely we will be getting a merit sheet for NEET also, JEE also. So now I will be handing over the chair to Mr. Danesh to give you what you want to prepare for the needs. Whether you want to prepare from very high level books and guides or materials, or which level of preparation is required for studying or for getting a rank for NEET. Parents and students, please listen it carefully.
Sir, is the share screen visible to all of you? Okay. So, first of all, good afternoon, dear students and parents. I would like to emphasize few points related to the kind of preparation that you need to make at this time, because you have been preparing for NEET and JEE for the past couple of years. So a majority of you might have already finished around 75 to 80% of the preparation, and some of you might have already started thinking about preparing for the upcoming examination. So there are many important things which will help you to effectively utilize the time which is remaining, so that you can get a really good score in your board examination as well as the NEET and JEE examination. Right. So the first thing that you have to do is effectively manage your time. So for that, what I would recommend now is, see, if you have a particular amount of time which you have allotted for your studies, 45% of that time you should devote for learning the contents. Now, how to effectively learn the contents at this time, that I'll explain in the upcoming slides. The remaining time, 50% of the time, you should spend for writing, test, and practice. Because for any competitive examination or even for board examination, no matter how much you read and learn the theory again and again, it's not going to help you much unless and until you practice ample number of questions. Because in board exams, yes, I do agree to the fact that in board exams, based on the previous year's questions, if you practice, you will be getting a really good score. There is no doubt in that. But in competitive examination, the problem is they want to filter the best cream layer of students from all the applicants. So for this, there is a possibility that, if you have a particular theory concept laid in front of you, any number of questions can be asked from that. So how do you master to answer these kind of questions? You need to see as much questions as possible. So, the diversity of the questions is very high. So that's the reason, why in many of the competitive exam training centers, people, students, they refer many reference books, especially, GRB or Pradeep's or Dinesh or Comprehensive. All these reference books have ample number of diverse questions. So the kind of diversity in questions is very high. So you need to see as many questions as possible. Then only you will be able to know how to crack that particular type of question. Then 5% of the remaining time. So after the 45% preparation time and 50% practice time, 5% time you have to devote for analyzing the mistakes. This is something which nobody does. It's a very rare category of students I have seen observing this particular part, because once you attempt an exam and you got a score, you just leave that and then go for the next test. But don't do that. You have to analyze your mistakes. Like, why did you get it wrong? Instead of learning that answer simply, you have to understand, like, what was the shortcoming? Like, why did I make it wrong? What was it because I didn't understand that theory properly, or was it my carelessness, or was it a calculation mistake? Like that analysis is very, very important. So this is the way how you have to split your time, how you have to devote your time. So please follow this method of 45%, 50%, and 5% time. And then the next thing I want to tell you is read NCERT textbook line by line. Anybody who is going to attempt for NEET and JEE main, I can guarantee you that to crack these examination, NCERT textbook is more than enough. I would not say this if it is for JEE Advanced. If you ask me the same question, like, is for JEE Advanced, is NCERT sufficient? No. it is not sufficient. You have to have some additional preparation and additional learning of theory, etc. required, because most of the time in JEE Advanced the questions will be coming from mixed topics. Like, they will mix up 4 or 5 chapters and make a question out of it. So to crack that, you need a really good understanding of the theory. Yeah, and also something in additional to that. For example, when it comes to organic chemistry, simply learning the reaction, the intermediates, etc., will not suffice for JEE Advanced. You need to learn the mechanism. So for that, you have to do some extra reference. But other than that, I know that most of you are focusing for NEET and JEE Main. So for these 2 examinations, NCERT should be your Bible. So this is the first thing that every student must understand. Even if you ask any student who has enrolled into a good medical college or an engineering college through JEE or NEET, they will tell you that NCERT is the best study material that you can get. Even though the information in NCERT is not laid in a wonderful manner, but still there is a lot of information available in the textbook, which you have to be thorough. So line by line reading of NCERT is very, very important. So at least you have to go through 4 times for each chapter in NCERT. That includes physics, chemistry, and biology, and also maths in case of JEE. Keep a target. Like, when you're doing your board exam preparation, keep a target that I have to practice this many questions daily. So say, for example, in physics, you practice 50 questions daily. In chemistry, you practice another 50. And biology, you practice another 50. And maths, you practice another 50. So this will not only help you to improve your MCQ answering skills. Apart from that, that now board exam also has MCQ questions coming. So this will indirectly help you to do the board exam preparation as well. Because many a times students and parents, they think that the competitive exam preparation is different from board exam preparation. In terms of theory preparation, I would not agree with that, because in theory preparation, it's more or less the same. But the kind of approach that you take to solve a particular question in board exam and competitive exam, that's what makes the difference. Say, for example, in chemistry, you want to solve a question in thermodynamics using Hess's law. When you write for board examination or when you write for the descriptive examination, you have to write down the steps and you have to show the calculations and all. But in competitive exams, it's just a matter of, using your brain and doing the calculations mentally and solving the question in a fraction of a second. So the kind of approach in solving the question, that is what is different. So that's why, we say that we need more practice for solving questions based on MCQ. So these are some points which I want everybody to understand. Then the next thing, these 3 things. See, first thing is, everybody knows that I need to qualify this exam. I need to write a competitive exam to get into a good college. So first thing is, you have to overcome the laziness. Like, something that is drawing you back from starting the preparations. Get rid of all those factors and start preparing. Then avoid procrastination, because many of the students will think that, okay, there is enough time. So now board exam has been announced to be conducted in May. So you will think that there is enough time for me to prepare. Do not think like that. Just start the preparations now itself. Procrastinating is one thing which is never going to work in a student's life. So keep doing your work on a daily basis and focus on your goals. What are your goals? So you might have seen that in every year, if you take the results of competitive examinations, you can see that top ranks in most of the competitive examinations are scored by repeaters. You know that repeaters are those students who drop 1 year and they spend in coaching centers and take up the examination. So why repeaters are getting best ranks in competitive examination? Simple words, it's because of the late self-realization, isn't it? Because we know that this exam is the one which is going to decide my future. But you didn't prepare properly for the examination during your 12th standard and 11th standard. And then you wrote the examination. Then you realize that, okay, if I had put a little more effort, I would have easily cracked it. So you got that self-realization later, and then you join in a coaching center. There you will study for 1 year and spend all your time for studies, and then you crack the exam. This is the reason why repeaters are getting a upper hand on the results of all the competitive exams. But if you ask me, there are many students who are regular 12th going students who have cracked the examinations with really good ranks. That's because they got an early realization that this is something which I need to build my future. So keep in mind that repeaters repeating a course is not helping you to crack that exam easily. It's just because that you have realized that this exam is something which I can easily crack after I put some amount of time for the studies, and I can write the exam and crack it. So keep this always in your brain, that you can crack a competitive exam like NEET and JEE Main in your first attempt itself. Now, if you want proof for that, I can show you an ample number of proof related to this. See, 10 years back, competitive exam questions are asked in such a way that most of the questions comes out of syllabus, like, which is not very much related to the syllabus, but there will be questions like, say, for example, you studied kinetic molecular theory of gases, but you're not studying in detail about so much of kinetic molecular theory. So they can ask a little bit higher level questions, and then you cannot answer that question. But nowadays what happens is, most of the questions, around 98% of the question paper of NEET and JEE is directly from NCERT. I have given here the proof. I have handpicked these slides just to make you understand how easy is it to crack these exams. These questions which I have picked, you can see here, these are the questions from biology. This is from the last year NEET examination. I have picked the question here. I have shown the relevant part in the NCERT here. As you all can see here, this question is asked from this section of NCERT. This particular question is asked from this section of NCERT. This particular question is directly asked from this section. Like this, there are for each and every question, there is a direct answer which is given as a line in NCERT textbook. So this is the best proof that I can present in front of you, not only for biology. See, look at the questions from chemistry. See, this question coming from the coordination complex chapter is directly taken from this. This question from biomolecules is directly taken from this part. This question again from chemical bonding chapter, directly from this part. You can see that each and every line in NCERT is made as a question. So if you just depend only on NCERT textbook, trust me, you are going to get a really, really good score. You will be performing as much as how a repeater batch student performs. Because the main difference between regular batch student and repeater batch student is, I told you that repeater batch students have a self-realization coming, and they will be that serious about their career because they're dropping 1 year. So they can't take any risk. So they will be very much serious about the studies. They will be very much consistent in their performance. They will be consistent in the study plans. But we may not be like that. The regular batch students may not be like that. Even if you decide to become consistent, what will happen is, end of the day, when pre-board exam announces in school or practical exam comes in school, you will give priority to that. So do not prioritize such things. Give priorities to the things which is going to matter much in your future. See, scoring 100% marks in board exam, maybe giving you or getting you a good appreciation from your parents, your friends, teachers, maybe from your school. But how is it going to help in your university admission? It's not. So get a really decent score in board exam, and then focus more on competitive exam and get into a college where merit is the basis of admission. This is another example from NEET question paper 2020, the physics questions. You can see that these are directly taken from the textbook. You see, it's a direct question, dimensions of stress. It is given here, dimensional formula is so and so. You just have to pick the right answer. You see how easy it is? And moreover, it is not like descriptive exam where you have to memorize thing and write it directly from your memory. You have the answers right in front of you. All you have to make sure is, out of the 4 options, the 3 options are wrong. That's the only thing you have to do. So if you plan your studies properly, you can do it really easy. Now, how do you do this effectively? At this point of time, at least some of you who have got a late realization, how do you plan your studies now? Is the time available for you? Is it enough to score a good rank in JEE and NEET? Yes, this time is more than enough for you. But trust me, you have to plan your studies very much effectively. Now, how do you do that? See, when it comes to storing the informations in brain, there are a few things you need to remember. First thing is, never do multitasking. See, multitasking and learning, it works only in theory. Many people will say that I study better when I listen to music, or I study better when I watch TV, or when I hear something from back in the background. These are all myths. Trust me, it's not going to work. Even if you have experience that it works, it just works only for a short period of time, because your brain, even though it is capable of multitasking, during that multitasking, whatever informations come into the brain is just volatile. It just gets vaporized the next day when you wake up. So whenever you are studying, focus only on studies. And then once you have gained or once you have read something, once you have understood something, lecture that to yourself. Because you might have seen that teachers who are taking classes, they are taking the classes, even if you ask a teacher that come and teach this subject, that teacher does not have to do any reference. He just come and take the class. How is it possible? Aren't they also human beings? They are doing it on a regular basis. That's why it is all stored in their long-term memory, so they can retain it really fast. So this thing is very, very, very important. Lecture what you have learned to yourself. So just study for 30 minutes time, then whatever concepts you have studied, you just lecture it to yourself and keep saying that, or keep lecturing and keep explaining to yourself. So that way you will be able to recollect things. And then the 3 additional factors what I have given here, these are optional, but trust me, these 3 things has got a lot of things to do in studies, especially the lighting part, the poster, the sleep pattern. When it comes to lighting, a fully illuminated room, instead of studying in a fully illuminated room, if you just illuminate your study area, it keeps your brain more sharper. Then second is the way how you sit. You have to keep your vertebral column erect and then study. Instead of just sleeping on or lying on the bed or on a couch and learning, do this. Try this. Keep your body in a posture which is not giving much stress to your body. Then the third thing is the sleep patterns. See, you need to get ample amount of sleep, but trust me, if you have less time in this year or in this coming months, if you sleep a little less, it's not going to damage your brain. I have seen many people or many students saying that, sir, human brain requires 8 hours of sleep a day. For that, they are very much consistent. They say that I need to sleep 8 hours, no matter whatever comes. See, trust me, you don't need to sleep 8 hours a day at this point of time. You just you just manage your timetable in such a way that you're getting more time for studies. And many of the students think that there is so much of theory. How are these theory going to help you in future? Trust me, Kirchhoff's law or chemiosmotic theory or sliding filament theory or Bohr's model, Rutherford's model, Krebs cycle, these things are not going to come in your life maybe in the future. You're not going to get benefited from this. I know that. But understand that these theories or the history or the experiments, everything is incorporated in the syllabus just to train your brain to take as much of information and retaining that information and reproducing that information in an answer sheet or in an examination. So for that, your brain needs information. That's why these informations are included in the syllabus. Now, when you study in a smarter way, you know that we have the best senses among all the living organisms. The moment I put this slide, I haven't written or I haven't explained anything related to this slide, but I am sure that around 60 to 70% of the attendees who are students in this webinar might have already realized which scene I am showing here. See, I'm getting a lot of yes. I'm getting a lot of yes. Many have recognized this scene. I just put this slide in front of you. I haven't given any explanation. I haven't given any hints or anything. The moment this scene is popping up in front of your eyes, you just recognize, yes, that's the entry of Thor in the Avengers Infinity War. So that particular scene has striken into your brain. You're just memorizing it. You're just retaining it from your memory. You just picked up that scene suddenly, and nobody has explained you or nobody has taught you this. You just witnessed, you just saw that, and this has this scene was so interesting that it just got into your long-term memory. But tell me, instead of this scene, instead of that, if I put a paragraph of crystal field theory in front of you, you will just remember it for that particular day when I take the class. The next day when you wake up, when I ask you about crystal field theory, you will just be speaking like, an Alzheimer's patient who will be picking up the fragments of information from, space. Isn't it? Why is it different? Because, the way how you are relating the subject to your brain is what is making the difference. Movie is something which is entertaining us. Studies is not that much entertaining. So you already made this prejudiced thought is already there in your brain, so that, whenever you open the textbook, it keeps telling us that, okay, this is not going to work out. So that is why I told you have the best senses. So make the best use of that. Whatever it is, auditory information or visual information or kinesthetic information, everything has to be fed into your brain, will be fed into your brain if you take proper interest into that. Now, how do you make studies interesting? The only thing is you can visualize yourself, after 10 years standing as a doctor wearing a stethoscope and a lab coat and attending your patients, and the patient, you just consult a patient and diagnose him, and then you explain to him that what is his condition, and you just prescribe him certain medicines, and he recovered, and then next week he comes to you and tell you that, thank you so much, doctor. So you just feel so proud of yourself that you yourself made a good service, or you delivered a better service to a person. Or not only for doctors, but maybe for engineers, you created something wonderful, or you just made an innovative discovery. So visualize those things in your brain, that in the future you are going to stand like this, making your parents proud, making your teachers proud, and end of the day, making yourself proud. That is most important, isn't it? So this is something which is very, very important. I thought of sharing it with the students at this point of time. Now, for learning the theory, the next question I got in the chat is, how do you make studies interesting, or how do you make it more effective? See, for that, first thing is you have to get into the core of each chapter, isn't it? Like, when you study, do not bore your brain with so much of facts, because your brain is not used to that, isn't it? Because right from the childhood, when you slowly come into each class, when you get promoted to each class, you're getting more and more chapters, you're getting more and more contents, but your brain is not trained in that way. See, I'm not generalizing it, I'm not saying it is applicable to everyone, but at least majority of you might have experienced this. 10th standard was so easy, but the moment you reached 11th standard, you saw that the contents has been quadrupled, or it became 5 times or 6 times. And then you realize, yes, this is so much to study. So, what happens is, slowly your brain is not trained for feeding so much of information at that time. So suddenly when the exams are approaching, you will sit for 1 week or 2 days or 3 days and try to mug up all this information. Do you think the brain will be willing to do that? No, it will hesitate. So do not bore your brain with so much of facts at a particular time. Keep studying in certain intervals, and then get into the main core of the chapter, like what that chapter is trying to teach. So if you have a chapter to study, let's say you want to study coordination compounds, so just go to the core of the chapter. What is coordination compounds all about? What is there in that chapter? If you have to write a synopsis of that chapter, you should be able to do that. Like, I have the IUPAC naming of this compounds, I have the structure of the compounds, and based on that I have to name the compound, or the compound's name is given and I have to make the structure of it. Then I have the VBT theory, the CFT theory, then I have the ligands. So if you get that flow chart of the chapter in your brain, it's very easy to feed the information. You can just link. So you're creating fragments, like fragments and fragments of informations you will make, and then you try to connect those fragments in your brain, because that's how brain works. That's how the central nervous system works. We create synapses, we created pieces of information, and then we coordinate it. So create fragments, consolidate those fragments during your sleep. That's what is happening during, short-term memory conversion to long-term memory. Because whenever you learn something in fragments, with the night when you sleep, these pieces of information gets consolidated. But to do that, vision only is not sufficient. You get me? Vision is not the only thing which is needed. You need revision. You have to revisit the topic. You have to go to the topic again. Then those fragments will be fed in a much more coordinated manner. So, you can learn it very easily. And, you all might, at least some of my students might be knowing, but others might be wondering, like, why I have given a picture of a cat and an ox here. See, this is just a simple way of organizing things easily in your brain. You can see that in here. This is from the concept of electrochemistry, where everybody knows that anode is the electrode where oxidation takes place, and cathode is the electrode where reduction takes place. So, this is something which is the basic core of the chapter. So you see here, anode is where oxidation takes place. So if you remember an ox in front of you, you just got that, like anode is oxidation, and cathode is where reduction takes place. So you just remember a red cat, which is just relating that concept into your brain. This is just an example, okay? I'm not saying that everybody is learning in this pattern. This is just an example, like, how visual informations can be useful or can be made useful to memorize theoretical facts. And then you have to follow the Pomodoro technique in learning. Pomodoro technique is something like, you study in small Pomodoros. Pomodoro means, it's a Latin term for small intervals of time. Like, you divide your time interval. You have 5 hours to study. What you do is, the first 25 minutes you study, the next 5 minutes you take a break. Then learn the next 25 minutes, then you take a break. Then that 1 hour is over, then you take a half an hour break, and then only sit for the next 25 minutes. Like this, if you divide your time intervals in small, fragments, the brain will be perceiving the information much efficiently than you sit for 2 hours or 3 hours continuously. And one more important thing is, you have to trust the Pareto principle. I'm not sure how many of you know about this, because Pareto principle is not something related to science. It's something related to the business. See, Pareto principle says that, it's called as the 80-20 principle. It's called as the 80-20 principle. So what does it say is, 80% of the outputs or the results that you get in a business is based on the 20% of the input that you do. So maybe, it might not make sense to you, like, how is it related to studies? See, I would say, if you have, a particular syllabus for an exam, there are some, important topics that you have to prioritize. Then give that topics more priority and you learn, because the 80% of your result is dependent on that 20% of the input that you do for those topics. The rest 80% topics is just insignificant. That is the trend what we have observed in competitive examination. So this is what is called as the Pareto principle. So keep putting this principle in your study plans. Just try it for a few weeks of time. You will see a big change in your studies. The Pomodoro technique is one of the most efficient technique that is done even by MBBS students. Even by MBBS students. There are many MBBS students who sit and study for 6 hours with the Pomodoro intervals. And they can study physiology, biochemistry, and anatomy much efficiently, and that too from foreign author textbooks. Because once you get into medical colleges in India, there are 2 kinds of textbooks you will get. You will get, biochemistry textbooks from, Vasudevan, Professor Vasudevan, which is a much simplified version. But at the same time, you have the Leninger biochemistry. You have the Nelson and Cox biochemistry, which are foreign author textbooks. These textbooks have so much of information which is like a vast ocean. So what they do is, they made a simplified Indian version of that, and the students study only that. But what's the problem is, your depth of knowledge will be less. So how do you study biochemistry from this big foreign author textbooks? You have to follow the Pomodoro methods. You have to sit with small intervals of technique, small intervals of time, and then study from that. Then during studies, you can make studies interesting by using mind maps and mnemonics. You see, any important or any difficult concepts are there, you create mnemonics out of it. See, say for example, I have given a little bit of information related to the mnemonics here. You can see a sentence here: little nasty kids rub cat's fur. So that's just a sentence which you can easily feed into your brain. But what happens is, this single sentence carries a lot of information. This is the entire group 1 alkali metals. We have lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. You just studied those alkali metals in the same order. So you might be thinking, like, why should we learn the alkali metals in the same order? There are a lot of questions related to the periodic trends. Like, how is metallic character changing? How is non-metallic character changing? How is basicity changing? How is acidity changing? So these concepts can be easily understood by just, remembering what is the order of the elements in the periodic table. See, this is the second group of the periodic table, the alkaline earth metals. We have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. You see, you just learn it as beer, mugs, can, serve, bar, rats. You just learned that sentence, you got the entire, the alkaline earth metals group. Then we have the group 13 elements. Bowler Ali gave instant tea. Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. You see, you just learned the group 13. Ottoman Syria sends textiles to Poland. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. The group 16 is there. You see, with those 4 sentences, you just learned 4 groups in periodic table. And that's not a small thing. That's something, where you can score a lot of marks in competitive exams by just knowing the order of the elements in the periodic table. Then look at this. Dear King Philip, come over for good soup. It's just a simple sentence which your brain can easily remember, but it carries a big piece of information, which is, this is the taxonomic hierarchy in classification of living organism. We have division, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. You just remembered all the taxonomic hierarchy. Each taxon, what is division, what is kingdom, what is phylum, what is class, what is order, what is family, what is genus, what is species. You just remembered all of them in the same order by just remembering a sentence. Never let mama eat beans. You see this? This is just a small sentence, but you just learned all the blood cells of WBCs. You have neutrophils, you have lymphocytes, you have monocytes, you have eosinophils, you have basophils. You just remembered all the granulocytes and agranulocytes of WBC, isn't it? I prefer milk and tea. This is the entire cell cycle. Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, in the same order. So you might be thinking, I can remember interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase in the same order without this. Fine. You can do that, but there are people who do this technique and they can more efficiently recognize and recollect information. If you are comfortable with the way how you can recollect information, I'm not saying you have to switch to this. Let it be. You can remember it in the way how you want. But end of the day, everybody has to have this information in your mind. See, lots of work makes me mad. It's a sentence that makes so much of sense. You see, it's just a basic formula in physics. You know that work done is equal to force into displacement, and force is mass into acceleration into displacement. So work done is equal to mass into acceleration into displacement. Good honey tastes sweet. This is one of the most important equation in thermodynamics, which is called as the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. We know that G is equal to H minus Ts. The enthalpy, the free energy change is equal to enthalpy change minus temperature into entropy. Good honey tastes sweet. So you see, you are feeding that information and it just got into your brain. Then rich men in Vegas use expensive gadgets. Again, a sentence that makes perfect sense. This is the complete spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. You have radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. This spectrum is really important because questions in NEET and JEE comes like this, which is having high frequency, which is having high wavelength, which is used for transmission, which is more ionizing, which is less ionizing. For all this, you need to know who is higher wavelength, who is lower wavelength. So you need to remember that concept, by knowing the order of the spectrum. Then Eli the Iceman. This is one of the most important principles that we use in physics, especially, in the chapters capacitors and inductors. You have studied this inductive circuit and capacitive circuit. You see, in an inductive circuit, which is L, the voltage, that is EMF, leads current. That is ELI. In an inductive circuit, voltage is leading ahead of current. Whereas in a capacitive circuit, current is leading the voltage. So you see, Eli the Iceman is just a mnemonic to remember that which is leading in which kind of circuit. So, that reduces the confusions. That reduces the amount of time that you have to think during the examination, because time management is really important. So if you might be able to recollect informations, if you get enough time, but that time will not be there in competitive exam. You have to answer 180 questions in 180 minutes. So hardly you're getting less than a minute. Not even that also, because for reading a question, you might take more time, then understanding the options, then making the decision which 3 options are wrong. These takes time. So, for that efficiently, if you have to feed this information, you have to use this kind of techniques. So these are some of the points which I want to highlight at this time, because majority of you will be thinking, is it too late that I realize that I have only a few months of time left for my entrance preparation? See, let me tell you, this is more than enough. There are plenty of students who have just prepared for the crash course and enrolled into really good universities by qualifying NEET and JEE. So all you have to do is take a decision today that board exam preparation and competitive exam preparation is not something different. Both of them can be managed. Then I have to apply the Pareto principle. I have to prioritize my things. The 20% of the effort that I am taking is going to make 80% of the output or the results. So whatever you are learning now pre-boards is going to start again. But you cannot wait for the pre-board to get completed and enroll for the crash course or do the preparation for competitive exam. Study it now itself. Along with the boards, study it. For 11th standard topics, spend a little bit time on each day, other than learning for the 12th standard, because anyway 12th standard you're going to get mastered because you are going to write the board exam and you're preparing for it on a daily basis. So 11th standard topics, slowly start learning by allotting 1 hour time or 1.5 hours time, and reduce the sleep time and work effectively now. If you are ready to be consistent for these months, trust me, you are going to get really, really good ranks. Last year for the NRP program, I did the same thing. We did the same thing. And many of the students have come up with very good ranks and very good marks. Within a short period of time, they had shown a dramatic improvement in their scores. So these are the points which I want to specify. So if you have any other problems related to spending on time, spending on how to do the preparation, how to make the study easier, anytime you can contact us and we will be at your assistance. Yes. So there is one question here. In Embibe, see, many of you are using Embibe from the time of 11th standard itself. So the right time of putting more effort and more time for Embibe is now. So whatever questions are there in the Embibe platform, whatever exams are there in the Embibe platform, that you can start writing now. And the theory you can learn. See, I told you theory learning, please do not think that you have to do it separately from the NCERT textbook. No, read NCERT textbook line by line, highlight the points, learn the important concepts from there. That is more than sufficient for your competitive exams also. You can target a rank like 650 plus or 660 plus in NEET examination, or in JEE examination. I need to score more than 200 or 180 marks. So these are things which is achievable, which is easily possible if you spend a good amount of time at this time. Is it clear? Now there is a doubt here related to the DASA cutoff. Still, nobody has made an official statement about the DASA cutoff ranks for JEE. So still it is also vague to even us also, like, how they will be doing it. But definitely there will be a relaxation score, cutoff score for the NRI students compared to the Indian students. That's what we expect. So once we get a genuine information from the NTA, then we will be able to give you that particular info. Okay, so with this, I would like to conclude the presentation, and just I would like to hand over to Ashraf sir for talking about the crash program and the for the JEE and NEET. Regarding the crash course.
Regarding the crash course, so we have decided certain dates and timing and everything. Most probably, we will be going at time between 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day, continuously, because then if you have some tuition which is coming in this one, whoever it is, whether it is Brilliant or wherever it is, you can ask them to reschedule little bit, so that okay, this tuition is going on for almost 12 months. Okay, almost 12 months. Now, again, you want to spare your time, precious time for this one. It will be not acceptable. At least 2 hours. Will each day we will be taking it 2 hours, 3 to 5. And since I wanted to keep it 2 o'clock, but let me know if everybody is having school during this time. Some may be practical, some so. Whatever is the situation, daily I needed 2 hours. Then, sir, is it enough? 3 to 5 is enough on daily basis?
Yes, sir.
Till the exam?
Yeah, every day.
Every day till May, April at least. May is the exam starting, no? Yeah. If the parents and students are agree, we will be very happy. Otherwise, we'll go ahead with every school will be having timing. Okay, Shantiniketan have a time. We cannot consider that one. It is the irresponsibility of the school. I cannot say. 1 year they are teaching you. Why they want till 4 o'clock? Morning 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Talk to the management. It is your future. For I have nothing to do in that one. And if you look at every school, there are 16 schools. We will not be able to conduct anything here. This crash course is only for NEET and JEE. For board, there is no need of a crash course. We are already doing it for the year. Again, revision is going on 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, weekly, twice in a week.
Okay, so there is one question I would like to answer.
Okay.
The doubt is the NEET and JEE chemistry and physics questions the same? See, the standard of the questions for JEE main and NEET physics is almost same. The difference what we have observed is you have a little bit more theory related questions in NEET, whereas concept related numerical questions in JEE main. That's the main difference. But if you practice from the 11th and 12th NCERT textbook, especially, you know, the numericals in-text questions and the questions at the reader back, that is more than sufficient. But of course, as I said, more the diversity of questions that you see, more will be the chance of you to solve that in a short period of time. So you need to...
Parents, one more thing. The preparation for NEET and JEE and board is not different. If you prepare for NEET and JEE, definitely it will be the board is a byproduct. We are not studying anything which is not there in the NCERT syllabus. So, if you what will be only difference is the theory what is studied in NEET and JEE, sorry, CBSE, we will be doing more MCQs. So, if you do MCQs, definitely it will be going to be a big boost for your board examination. So, you cannot separate this NEET and JEE and separate from CBSE board. If you prepared well for NEET and JEE, your board will be a byproduct. So it is not going to affect your board preparation. You will be getting a better hand in the board examination. So as I told you, if you are not looking for any object examination for JEE or NEET, okay, you can go ahead with our normal preparation of CBSE board. It will be happening as per normal. We are not cancelling, or we are not, maybe timing may be a little bit rescheduled. That's all. See, regarding the cancellation or change in extracurricular, also our help desk 50389222. You can call. I think in the message we already mentioned 50389222. If you call, you can get assistance for admission procedure. You will be getting for application form filling, etc. And I request all our students and parents to please. We will be avoiding posting of important announcement of JEE, NEET, etc. in our regular group, because it's going to be a disturbance for the parents. So we will be putting in our Facebook and YouTube channel. So please subscribe. You have maybe subscribed many channels. So I will be putting my thoughts and everything in the YouTube regularly now regarding all the issues which is coming in NEET, JEE, etc. So help us to reach maximum people by subscribing our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel, if those parents you have some younger one, there will be a lot of demo classes, demo videos we uploaded. Now we need to make sure that the quality of our classes should be seen by the parents and well-wishers in Doha and everywhere. So you can go through our YouTube channel. There is a lot of testimonial. There is a lot of videos, related classes, and everything will be coming there. We'll be avoiding in the group important announcement of date, time, cancellation, etc. Yeah, there will be classes after this one. Name of the YouTube channel, then sir, please type the name. It is there in the link itself there in the group.
I'll share the link.
Okay. So this course of JEE and NEET will go till the JEE and NEET examination, and we will be conducting classes as and when we get chances. till it is not a fixed course, it is a continuous support we'll be providing. As you have seen, 2 months, July, August is normally a vacation. We did not take a vacation. We have continued our classes. Now it is again already 15 months will be going. A 10-month program is extended to 15 months without any hesitation from our side. We are continuously doing it, and we don't have any consideration. If it is an Indian, if you do an online something, you would have in trouble now. I think our YouTube link is already shared. There is a chance for coming a few students to offline, but it will be mainly online. Last year we did online. Even the students from Saudi, Dubai, Bahrain, etc. attended, and you have got a testimonial in the group. A student from Saudi is talking about brilliant online classes during the last pandemic, and he got a merit seat for MBBS. I think Nias Muhammad. That video was there in the group, I think, or in our Facebook page. You can see that one, how he is praising the brilliant classes compared to other. He has joined many online classes from India, but finally he was there with us for almost 4 months. So online is very effective. There is no issue. Anything else is there, or we can end because we children are waiting for to write to start the on JEE classes max. Crash course for NEET and JEE is available. Okay, then I would like to thank all the parents and students for spending time. I think we have a good participation. Almost everybody is participated. And anything is there, my personal contact number you can call, or Mr. Dinesh number, or our office number is always available for your contact, and we'll be happy to serve you at any time. We can end, Dinesh.
Yeah, thank you, dear students.
Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Please follow the